What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Inside the Hashes presented RPO College Football Podcast. And I'm your host, Jerome Jones. And we got the man, the myth, the legend. You already know who he is. No need for great introductions, but I'm always going to give it to him because that's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ray Roberts. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Jerome. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good, man. Hey, we are in the midst of a baseball playoffs right now. We're in a little delay right now. Me and Ray was just talking about that, so we're gonna keep an eye on that. But you just wanted to kind of shout that out real quick. Me being in Georgia right now, as most of you guys already know, I'm from Philly, so I just can't wait for the Phillies to beat the Braves, man.
Let's not talk about it, man. Just let it happen. Braves were one of the best teams in the league most of the year, and the Phillies got hot when it mattered, so that's a good thing.
No, yeah, I agree. But to get back on football, I do want to talk something because I want to make – there comes a time in a man's life that he has to learn how to apologize. And I'm going to apologize right now because I did something last week, and I want to apologize to all my Utah fans. I apologize. I know it happens every time, and I know it happens every time, and I just keep trying to test the line, and every time I root for you guys or root for you guys to win, you lose. So I am going to initially 100% admit that I am the Utah jinx. I do apologize to all my Utah fans out there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, and I keep doing it to you guys. I like you guys, but it's now time for me to give up rooting for you guys or whatever. I mean, with that being said, I kind of foreshadowing that we do have Utah on our list of teams to root for. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Rick, do you have anything to say about that? I just had to apologize for that because man. Every time.
I just regret the fact that at first I picked UCLA and then let the line sway my opinion. That's all.
Every time, right? It's so bad. It's been going on for like 2-3 years now. So I'm officially gonna admit that I am a Utah jinx. It's no if or maybe or not on the jinx. It's just me. So again, Utah fans, if you're watching this, I do apologize. All right, let's get to it, man, because I feel so bad right now. I really do. Oh man, let's get to our headlines right now. Clemson is number 4 right now. Ray, surprised? Do you think they deserve to be right there? I want to know what you feel about that, man.
I think they deserve to be. 4 or 5, somewhere right in that ballpark. So that's fine. I don't think they've not played consistent football all year though. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's the part that gets it for me. I mean, again, I said it before. I really do still think they're a really good team. I just don't like that they've been so inconsistent and they just jumped Michigan. I mean, yeah, I'm a Michigan fan, so I'm gonna be a little bit biased about this. I'm a little salty, just a little salty. But the fact that they've been so inconsistent, and the team that they just lost was Boston College. I mean, it was like I could see it if it was I'm not even gonna say a dominant team, but I'll say a team maybe like Notre Dame. Not to say anything about your team, sir. Y'all are looking kind of better right now. But if Clemson beat Notre Dame, now I'd be like, all right, I think they deserve that number 4. But to jump them over Michigan, Michigan haven't been looking excellent themselves either. They've been looking good. They've been looking excellent. They haven't been looking like they were last year. But for Clemson just to and they only just beat Boston College, I'm just kind of weirded out about that.
I wouldn't have put them over Michigan right now, but we'll see.
I mean, 4 maybe 5. After this week's game, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But after this week's game, I would have been like, all right, depending on how the results went, then I would be like, all right, Clemson can jump now. But for them just to jump them, and it's like I don't know. I think that was weird. Just wanted to kind of bring that out there. But they did just beat Boston College. They blew them out. I think it was 34. I'm sorry, 31-30. Um, DJ been looking a lot better, right? What you think about him?
He's played better.
Yeah,
I'm still waiting for him to be more consistent,
yeah,
but he's played better. Their offensive line has played a little better.
hmm
They need to run the ball. I mean, I think
yeah.
that's the thing about Clemson. They need to run the ball more than I think they need to run the ball. So
I feel like they're starting to click a little bit more though. And sometimes it
they
does take
are, and
teams to do that.
they have the coach, they have the pedigree. So that's probably why until Michigan beats them, then or has a better win than what they've been getting. I mean, I wouldn't have jumped them over Michigan. I think Michigan's played pretty solid football most of the year. Michigan's defense has played pretty well, better, maybe a little better than I thought they were going to. Yet they were
Yeah,
losing their defensive ends from last year, but they played well. I just don't know if I would. I wouldn't have jumped Clemson over them, but
yeah,
I know why they did. It's Clemson. You know,
hmm
they keep waiting for Clemson to be Clemson of 2 years ago, but
yeah, yeah.
so it's Clemson though. That's the problem. You know, so
Yeah, and they got all that talent on the team, so obviously they're gonna try to boost them up and all that stuff like that. I get it too, but it's just annoying how certain things they do with rankings just weird for me. Um, let's get to our next topic, right? Alabama survives Texas A&M, right? I don't know if you watched that game. I watched probably like a good 80% of that game. It was a good game. It was a really good game. What's your thoughts on that one, right?
that Texas A&M played better than I thought they were going to, and
Yeah,
Alabama didn't play as well as they had. So
correct.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that again, Alabama doesn't have the quarterback, so I think it's where people are like, well, they played well enough to win with a backup quarterback, so you know.
Yeah, again, like I said, I talked about this last week. Was that this game I put it on the list because I didn't think that Bryce Young was going to play, and he didn't. Monroe played fairly well for, especially for somebody that haven't been playing. I mean, in the beginning, it didn't look well at all. He ended the night with 12 for 19, 111 yards, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Fumbled a lot on in there as well, but it was the defense, man. The defense definitely held him down. And then when it came down to it, Moreau really came in and spoiled them. Real quick before you continue, Ray. I'm guessing this is Remy. So Remy, I agree with Clemson moving to 4. They're slightly better than Michigan right now in my eyes. I get that too in a sense, but at the same time, they look a lot more inconsistent than Michigan has been. I don't know. That's just me. I don't know. I
I
could be
mean,
biased.
I can see both sides of the story again, and Michigan has not played. Their offense has not been great.
Yeah.
Clemson has played pretty good the last 2 weeks.
hmm
I just think it's more because they're Clemson than anything
Yeah.
else. To be honest with you, you know.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Let's get back to the Alabama game. Gibbs, man, I love Gibbs, dude. I'm so like I heard about Gibbs before I moved down here. Got to see him a little bit more with Texas Tech last year. Transferred to Alabama this year, and he looking just as good as he did at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, well, you know what though? That's why it bothers me a little bit because Alabama just goes out and they rape other teams. I
Yeah.
don't. You're already one of the best recruited teams in college football.
hmm
So now you're just going to do that. I mean, I don't like it, but I mean it's the rules. So what are you gonna do?
You're referring to the transferring.
Yeah, I don't like the portal. I don't think it's a great idea. I don't. I
I
don't.
don't either. I
I don't.
don't either. But I'm glad for the kid because he probably wouldn't get as many people looking at him if he didn't go to Alabama. So like I said, I knew him before he went to Alabama, and he was at Texas Tech. I'm sorry, Georgia
Georgia
Tech, and not a lot
Tech.
of people knew a lot about him. So now he's able to put his name out there, and he looking fantastic. I heard people on the broadcast comparing him to Alvin Kamara, which I see a lot of, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not crazy about the way Alabama got them, but yeah, man, it's the system. So they're going to play that game too. So
Definitely. Yeah. But overall in the game was fun. King looked pretty impressive out there. He did pass a lot, 46 times passing. The running game wasn't as much. I wish they was able to run, but when they did run, they didn't run that great. What you gotta say about Texas A&M, right?
like you said, they didn't run. They couldn't really establish a run game. And Haynes King threw the ball a lot, but didn't get a lot of yardage out of throwing it because he only got, 25 of 46. That means he didn't complete 21 passes. That's not a great ratio. So,
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, it was a fun game to watch. I definitely was watching it. I'm not gonna tell you who I was rooting for, but it was a lot better than a lot of people thought. And when we came into the week, I was thinking this might be one of those games because again, Bryce Young wasn't playing. It's a rivalry game. They know each other. I thought it was gonna be good, and I'm glad this was one of the ones I watched.
There's a history with the coaches.
Yeah,
there was a history with the coaches going into the season where, they were kind of like sniping at each other because of But in the end, Alabama won a game without their starting quarterback. So,
No, definitely. All right, let's get to the rest of week 6. So we got a list of games that we're going to talk about here. I'm going to talk about the blog real quick, man, because Ray, what the heck? Texas versus Oklahoma. I don't think either of us thought we both had Texas playing, but I don't think either of us thought it was going to be this bad. I think it was just looked like Alabama playing like Boston College or something like that. It was really bad.
It was bad. I was a little. Texas scoring 49 points against Oklahoma. We know Oklahoma's defense is not great.
Yeah,
and we know that the coach is going to have to build his defense into what he wants it to be. But I did not see a 49-0 score in the end, to be honest with you. But
yeah, and Ray, you want to hear the crazy part? This is 2022, right?
Mm-hmm.
We know how football is today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma had a total of 39 passing yards in 2022. Not 1932, 2022.
But he only threw the ball 12 times in a game where they were behind by a lot, which is what surprised me.
Exactly.
So, and you look at the stat line, it looked like they did a decent job everywhere except for where it mattered on the scoreboard.
Remy says Kevin Ewers is the real deal.
He is.
Yeah,
playing very good football right now.
Very
good. And Texas is one of them teams that I think we talked during the early part of the year going into the season where I could see them stepping up and turning into a good program again.
Yeah.
We've been waiting for it for a couple of years, but now maybe it'll happen.
Yeah, they did lose a couple of games recently, but the combination of Ewers and having Robertson on the team, it's pretty dangerous. Robertson had 130 for 2 touchdowns. Ewers had 4 touchdowns, 289 yards, 21 for 31. They was clicking, man. But it is crazy that Oklahoma defense. The Oklahoma offense didn't do nothing either, but the defense just let them do whatever they wanted in that entire game. It was insane.
That was a problem, though, man. They didn't really get the ball much in the game, and Texas did whatever they wanted on offense. So
I'm gonna see if I can find the time of possession. I don't know why I can't say that. Time of possession in here, which I don't see. Yeah, I don't see the time of possession, but I'm pretty sure it was like super lopsided.
Yeah, John Robinson only ran the ball 20 times, but he averaged like 7 yards a carry. 6 yards a carry, so and 2 touchdowns. It's a shame. I expected it to be a little bit better than that. Oklahoma and Texas is a big rivalry.
Exactly.
But it didn't look like that in the scoreboard. So
yeah, Oklahoma was only favored by 7. 7.5. Sorry,
Yeah.
and they definitely covered that. I mean,
Yeah.
sheesh.
Again, I was hoping for a better game than that. I mean, that's really all I look for is good games. So
It's fair to say I trust Texas way better in the SEC down the line than Oklahoma.
without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt. I mean, yeah,
Interesting fact: Texas had 0 players drafted in the NFL last year. Really? They will
they did
certainly have
not.
a couple early next year.
Well, that's because if you look at the best players in their offense, Bijan Robinson,
Yeah.
he's going to be drafted early this year. But
Oh,
last year
100%.
he didn't come out, so
100%.
yeah.
100%. So yeah, that I mean, I just had to mention that game. I know we try to keep better games, but this one it was just one that we had to mention. It was just insane how lopsided this game was.
Yeah.
Let's go to our next game, right? Let's just talk about it. Just rip the band-aid off. Utah versus UCLA. Ray, what do you thought about that game?
Well, Dorian Robinson, the quarterback for UCLA, had a nice game.
Yeah.
Only threw the ball 23 times, but 18 completions, 209 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Corbarone had almost 200 yards rushing and a
Mhm.
touchdown. I mean, again, UCLA did whatever they wanted on offense, and that was a little surprising because Utah is usually a pretty solid defensive team, but they were not last week. So,
yeah, same. I agree. Like what you're saying, the defense is usually good. Rushing yards. Cabernet almost 200 yards, a touchdown. Almost 300 yards from Thompson with 4 touchdowns. I mean, and he actually had a total of 5 touchdowns in that game. They just couldn't stop Thompson no matter what during the air and the ground game. I mean, actually, I'm sorry when I say that. I mean, as far as getting touchdowns, Thompson only had 8 yards rushing and 11 with 11 attempts. So they kept him in the pocket as much as they could, but he shredded them in the pocket when he was in the pocket. So
he did, and a couple of them were 2 of them were sacks, so they go down as losses of yardage too. So I mean, I just think that I expected more of Utah's defense than that. I really did. So
yeah, no, I agree. Do you think UCLA goes undefeated? They will get a playoff, college playoffs. Does Big Ten get a team in the playoffs this year?
No.
Nah, it's hard. I mean, unless something catastrophic happens, like
that's not going to happen, dude. No. Nope.
Yeah, because then you would need at least every team right now in the top 5 to at least lose twice.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Plus, you can't put a. You can't. I mean, all due respect to the Pac-12, it's the Pac-12.
Yeah.
They're not going to put a playoff team from that conference. I mean,
correct.
Unless it's USC,
it's
not going to be UCLA.
Yeah, and even after that, even with that, you have to think Penn State will be over them.
Penn State will be over them. Michigan will be over them. I mean, the Big Ten is a better conference. I mean, let's just be honest.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate if they do go undefeated, and that'd be cool to see them do that. But it's still a Pac-12, man. And you got all these other teams. If UCLA was ranked higher, in the beginning of the season, then I'll be like, okay, but like they're just climbing their way up. So I wouldn't think they make the playoffs.
They're not going to make the playoffs.
They'll get a really good bowl game, though.
Oh, they get a great bowl game, especially if they keep scoring points like this.
Yep. All right, let's get to our next one. Let's get to your game, man. Notre Dame versus BYU. We actually predicted this game, and I predicted BYU winning. You got it right. You got your Notre Dame winning. I'm pretty sure you watched this game. So what do you think about this, Ray?
It was a good game. I was a little frustrated with the end of the first half when Notre Dame scored a touchdown to go up, and then they tried to go for. I have a real pet peeve about coaches going after points like before the fourth quarter. I just don't beg for points, man. You have a point with this, and in the end, if they come back and tie the game up, BYU. It's because you gave them the out by not getting that extra point. And then you left it. You kept it one score by doing that. That's why you don't do it. I mean,
I think that's a product of the new school kind of coaches too, because now the new school coaches are prone to think about like the analytics now. Like you see in the NFL where the Eagles do it all the time. I think the Cardinals did it in that game. And all the teams that are doing it have younger coaches. So it's like this new wave of younger coaches think like, oh, the analytics say this, the analytics say that. Well, the analytics will tell you maybe you should make it, but then you also have to factor in the play that you actually run. Like that's so
Analytics is a dirty word in my vocabulary, okay? I mean, do you think Nick Saban worries about that?
No.
No. Nick Saban takes points whenever they're presented to him.
No,
That's why he's Nick Saban. I just don't understand the whole analytics thing. I mean, football is bad. Baseball is the worst. You don't even need a manager anymore, dude.
Ooh.
Just do what the analytics say. Who cares who manages a team? I mean, I just, my God, dude. Like, it's just simple. I don't mind getting a 2-point conversion in the fourth quarter if you need points.
Yeah.
But when you have a point staring you in the face, man, just take it. What is the difference between 1 and 2 points?
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
These new ways, I'll take a coach who coaches with his brain and his heart over a guy who uses analytics, okay?
No, I agree. 100%.
That's all. Like I just the whole time I'm thinking, why is he going for 2-point conversion here? Why? I mean, it's the first half. Why? And I didn't see going down the road like and the whole time Notre Dame's up by 8. I'm like, you know what? If they come back and tie this game up because you went for a point in the first half that you didn't need, I'm gonna be really annoyed.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And I like Marcus Freeman. I think he's a good coach. I think he's done a fairly good job so far. Don't beg for points. That's all.
No, I agree. So I wanted to talk about your offense a little bit because I think we were talking about this that if I'm not mistaken, you said this too. Notre Dame needs to run the ball, and I think it was very well balanced and actually showed how Drew Pine played. I mean, he looked great out there. He did have one interception, but 22 for 28, 262 yards with 3 touchdowns. And like I said, the running game, 262 passing yards, 234 rushing yards. What was your take on how balanced your offense was?
If you want Drew Pine to be a good, solid quarterback, you need to run the ball. They ran the ball very well. That was the key. Michael Mayer is a stud, and you can't cover him, especially if you're running the ball. Because what happens when you run the ball? The safety's got to sneak up a little bit, and then Michael Mayer can just free it there. I mean, it's just like Notre Dame has to run the ball to win games right now with Drew Pine at quarterback. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and like you said, right, the fact that y'all are, if you look at really good offenses, they run the ball to set up the pass, and it's usually to their tight end, especially if you have a great tight end.
Correct.
You see it with even Kansas City, they've done it, and Kelsey had 4 touchdowns in that game. I mean, you have to run the ball. Like, even if you're not a running team, you have to show some type of running capacity, especially if you have a great tight end, because those linebackers get stuck in the middle. Like, am I getting a running back or am I getting a tight end? And then there you go. You got a tight end wide open if you do it right. So
you can't cover Michael Mayer unless you chip him with a linebacker and then cover him with a safety at least.
Yep.
And even
if you do that, you're going to run.
Correct. Yep. I mean, I think like if you look at Michael Mayer, he's a very good blocker also, which is great. So when he's out there and he's blocking, an edge defender or a linebacker, and then they kind of like get past him, like, oh, thank God, now he's wide open though.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and Drew Pine wants that tight end to be open because that's where.
Yeah, and I think it benefits y'all too because now, I mean, in the beginning of the season, y'all wasn't really featuring what's his name, Michael
Meyer. Yep.
Yeah, Michael Meyer. I wasn't really featuring him, but now that y'all are featuring him, your offense look a lot better. Like, y'all are really trying to move and progress the ball in that sense. So
I mean, they haven't played great defenses the last 2 weeks. BYU is a better defense, but it's their front and their couple guys in their secondary are good. Linebacker play is not great for BYU. And then you saw Michael Meyer take advantage of that. The linebackers wanted to overcommit against the run, and Michael Meyer was like wide open most of the game. And again, the kid, you can't cover him with a linebacker, and the safety is not big enough or physical enough to keep up with him either. So if you run the ball, if Notre Dame can run the ball fairly consistent, they'll win games. And if they can't, they're probably not going to win games. So
and that was a good BYU team too. So
it is a good BYU team. It really is. Yeah. I was happy with the win. The only thing that annoyed me was leaving the back door open for not, only a one score. I mean, I know people like, yeah, but they have to get the 2-point conversion. Yeah, well, exactly. You act like it's really – that's the thing about the 2-point conversion. People act like it's really easy. It's not always easy to get that 2 or 3 yards. It's not. So just take that extra point.
Definitely.
I don't get it. So, Yeah.
All right. One last game I want to talk about because this kind of annoyed me last week. We didn't have them as a team that we picked, but I did highlight the game because this line was insane, and I was like, "There's no way that this game should be like this," and I was right. The Cincinnati versus South Florida game. I mean, Cincinnati was favored by 27 points, right? The game was 28-24. And when I looked at that, I was like, all right, I know USF haven't been playing that well, but I don't think it was that bad to deserve a 28-point favor. 27-point favor. I thought that was ridiculous when I seen it last week. And the game turned out to be a good game.
Was a good game. I think that Cincinnati's defense was good last year, but they had a really good secondary. Really, what it was, and then they would get leads on you, and you'd have to do something against their secondary. And as we see, both of their corners are pretty good. So, I don't know if Cincinnati shouldn't be favored by 20 points against anybody right now. So that was just a stupid line.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I just could not get we was just looking at our games, and then all of a sudden I just seen that line. I was like, there's no way. I had to talk about this. 27 points. Again,
didn't make any sense, and now it makes less sense. So
it didn't. So I hope you guys didn't get.
I think that they think Cincinnati is the same team from last year. They're not. They're not, man. It's not even close.
I mean, I hope anybody didn't really put bets into that because that was a horrible one. I wouldn't have touched that game.
No, I mean, unless you're going to say that you're jumping on South Florida, I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't touch the game either.
Yeah, that was a horrible line. I'm sorry, I had to just point that out. I just thought it was weird. But I will say that the running back, McCleveland. 179 yards and 2 touchdowns, career high. Looking very impressive, man, especially in the fourth quarter.
He was, but we know South Florida's defense is not very good.
Yeah.
So that was pretty easy to figure out. I did expect Cincinnati to be a little better than it was.
Yeah.
But it was that they just couldn't do anything consistently on offense, really, Cincinnati. And people forget, man, they lost a lot of talent on offense too. So
they did. I mean, they lost talent all across the board.
They did. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that was probably the most NFL players they produced at Cincinnati.
Yeah, usually they'll have 1 or 2. Last year they had I think 6 go in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot more than Cincinnati does produce. I mean, your buddy, the tight end who played with the Eagles, was from Cincinnati once upon a time. So.
I was about to say Trent Cole. What?
No, Trent Cole did go to Cincinnati, but
Brent Selleck.
Yeah, Brent Selleck went to Cincinnati. He was my guy in Cincinnati.
No, it's funny because Andy Reid was recruiting at Cincinnati a lot because it was Brent Selleck, Trent Cole. You had Jason Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
You had, I think it was another person too that was really good that we had from Cincinnati. So he dipped in the pot in Cincinnati when he was in Philadelphia. So
Brian Kelly, when he was in Cincinnati, did a good job there. He did.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, definitely. So All right, let's get to our picks. So last week, Ray, do you know what our record was?
I don't know what our record was. I think I still have one game lead over you. Does that sound about right?
We tied again. So
Yeah.
yes, you still
Yeah.
have that one game lead over me, which I honestly I'm not tripping about. I'm not tripping about. I do like being in front of you and beating you, but Ray, you usually dominate me. So for me to be this, I'm okay with this. And hey, look at our record. It's not that bad. It's not
No, it's
bad at
pretty good.
all.
No,
It's
I'm
really
like, you
good.
know what, Jerome? I tell people all the time, like people that ask me, dude, this is not my forte, man. I
Hmm.
don't mind picking the games because it's interesting and it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You
man.
do it for fun. You do it for fun.
I do it for fun. I mean, I honestly, I do this because I love evaluating college football players.
Same.
That's really what I love, dude. I love
Yeah,
evaluating.
and I like. I think it's fun too to see our what our guesses are, what we differ at, and then kind of like go through the games and see how the game kind of went out. Because like I said, the last couple times that we had different games, those different games have been very close games.
Yes,
So it's very interesting to see how these turn out. So it's fun for me. Last year when I was getting destroyed, and I have my little pride, but doing it itself is just fun. So
it is
um,
fun. I mean,
definitely, definitely.
I again, as you know, I do this because I love watching college football for first and
Right.
foremost, but I love evaluating players, man. That's my thing.
Same.
I
Especially
love it.
when that draft time comes up, baby.
It's the best, man. It is
Yes, sir.
absolutely the best.
Love it, love it.
I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I wish I made Miami's picks every year, man. I really do. I really do. I
Oh
mean,
man,
I keep watching like players on other teams that should be on having Dolphins uniform on it. Kind of frustrates me. So
I hear that. I hear that. We're
it
gonna
does.
we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna get into Ray's rants later on. We still got that segment. We got you. We got you. All right, let's get into our picks, Ray. For this week. So first one we got is Minnesota versus Illinois. I have that game. I kind of like this game, Ray. I don't know about you. Let's see the line now. Um, Minnesota is actually favored by 6.5 away.
So
Who you
I'm
taking
taking
there?
Minnesota. That's easy.
You taking it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, I think this is gonna be the first time in a long time we disagreed on the first one. I'm taking Illinois. I like how they've been playing recently. I mean, Minnesota's still iffy for me, and I know Tanner's playing a little bit better than he has, but Tanner Morgan just been disappointing in me lately. I mean, the last couple of years, because I remember it was a time where I thought he was really good, and I don't know. This one I'm just gonna go against.
Okay.
I like Illinois defense. So
Mm-hmm.
next game, my game, Michigan versus Penn State. You already know who I'm picking. So right, who you got?
I'm taking Michigan too. We're 6.5 point favorite away. So same reason I took Minnesota. I'm taking Michigan.
No, Michigan's home.
Oh yeah, Penn State's being home.
No, Michigan's home. They're Ann Arbor. I have it right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know because we're wearing blue this game, all blue. So I keep up with my team, man. I be knowing the uniforms they about to do each week, and this is not. I
You're
really
right.
do keep. I really do keep up with my team.
Well, I like Michigan less, but I'll still take them.
No, I agree. But this is one. I will say this is definitely my first scare of the year. Um, I mean, all right, I'm not gonna say my first scare. My second scare. My first scare was because JJ McCaffrey was new to the offense and he's playing. I think the first game that I was a little nervous. Maryland, just because he had that was like his best competition since he's been in the, and he's such a young quarterback. But now he got a couple games under his belt. The other games was really nervous. This would probably be my most nervous game, simply because I do think our defense is getting better, like you said earlier, Ray. Running game is really good. I'm just concerned with JJ. I just feel like they haven't opened the playbook up enough for him yet. maybe this might be the game, but I'm a little concerned. We are home, which is good because oh my god, I would be super nervous if it was in Pennsylvania. I really would. But we are home, so that do make it a little bit better. But this is gonna be a real test. That Penn State secondary is really good. So I'm very interested to see how this goes.
Yeah, well, I think that again, for some reason I thought Penn State was home, and the fact that Michigan's favored by 6.5, I thought they were on the road, but I'll take them anyway.
Funny thing is, I got Michigan winning by 7.
I have a 6.5 point line here, but I love it when the first thing you say about the defense is the secondary is good. That means nothing, but that's okay.
Wow.
Not in the Big Ten.
Is this the prime time game this week? That is not a prime time game. That game is right at 12, I believe. Let me double check that though. Yeah, that game's right at 12, which I hate when we had those 12 o'clock games. I don't like having those 12 o'clock games for Michigan because it's hard for me to catch them half the time. But yeah, this one's not prime time. I think and I don't blame them for not having this as a prime time game because there's a lot of good games this week. This week has a lot of really good rivalry games and stuff like that. And speaking of that goes right into the next game, Tennessee versus Alabama, right? I think this is probably the closest line I've seen Alabama have. Tennessee's at home. Alabama's favored by 7. Still taking Bama?
I'm taking Alabama. I hope it's going to be a good game. I mean, Tennessee. Again, I think Tennessee's one of the teams we talked about early in the year where if they keep building, I think they're going to be all right. I like their program right now. So,
yeah, Hooker, and I talked about him in the offseason. One of the quarterbacks I like a lot. I think I had him in my top 5 actually, or top 10. Sorry, not top 5, top 10. He's playing really well, man. I like his game. He's doing really well for them. I'm taking Alabama as well. I think it will be a close game. I think is Bryce Young playing or we're not sure
yet. I don't know that.
Let me see this.
I don't think anybody
is not playing because I do think that Alabama's going to run really well. But I think this game's going to really come down to Monroe not turn the ball over as much as he did last week.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find something on that. If anybody knows in the chat room, please let us know. Oh, by the way, Nick Saban said that I think Jalen played with a lot of anxiety. Kind of rough to say.
Okay.
So I don't see anything. If anybody knows though, please let me know. I'm taking Alabama. We'll find out how good Tennessee really is this weekend. Yeah, I think it's gonna be. This is very interesting to see how Tennessee plays, man. There's a lot of hype around the team. The fans are going crazy for them. I think it's gonna be real cool to see, man. I really do.
They're saying that Bryce Young has actually been practicing some, so we'll see.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure that. You got me right?
I got you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. BYU versus Arkansas. Who you got there, man?
This is a tough game, man, because BYU's home, but Arkansas is still favored by 1.5.
Yeah.
It's a tough game. Yeah. I guess I'm going to take Brigham Young. I'm going to take BYU.
Ooh. I'm going to say with you, right? I'm on the fence with this one.
Me too.
I think I'm going to go Arkansas. Yeah. Arkansas have been doing me good. I think they've lost one game for me. I think I'm gonna go there. Arkansas is still a really good team. BYU just coming off a tough loss, a close loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know BYU's home, but I think I'm gonna take Arkansas on this one.
Okay.
Not super confident in this one though. Not gonna lie.
I'm not in BYU either. That's the problem. Is Justin
Yeah,
Jefferson playing for sure this week? I'm not sure about that either.
yeah, that's another thing. So
So
interesting.
I'm going to take BYU. I think they're a more physical team, so I'll take them.
Definitely. All right. Let's go. Syracuse versus NC State, right?
I'm going to go Syracuse. They're home. They're only favored by 3, which is a little bit of a small line. Usually you get 3 points for being at home. But they're playing good football right now, so I'll take them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do the same thing, right? I think I'm gonna do the same thing. I like what they're doing. I love the defense. Defense is doing really well.
Defense is very good. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think NC State. I think that's gonna be a good game too. That one's gonna
Should be a good game. I think it's going to be a low scoring game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same here. All right, we got TCU versus Oklahoma State. TCU is favored by 4 at home.
I'm going to take TCU in the game. I'm not crazy about this game either because I like Oklahoma State's offense. But I'm going to take TCU. I think their defense is a little better. I think they'll hang tough and they'll win a close game. So
Yeah, I'm going Oklahoma State.
all right.
Same as you though, Ray. I just think it's close. I just been on that Oklahoma State bandwagon a little bit this year. Just thought they was a better team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I like that one. That's a good game right there. Next one, we got the rivalry right here. LSU versus Florida. Florida's home. They're favored by 2.5 at home. So it's another hard one.
I'm not crazy about this game either. Of course, I hate Brian Kelly now. So, you know what, though? I'm going to go with LSU. I am.
I'm going Florida. Wow, we got a couple of different ones this week, right? And it's a lot of, like I said, these are a lot of good games. They're going to be very close ones. So we'll definitely see. But I'm going Florida on this one. I just trust Florida just a little bit more. Even though they didn't, a little disappointing this year, but LSU been just, I think LSU been just super disappointing, and especially when
but you got to remember they're not a complete team either.
Yeah,
I mean Brian Kelly's got a lot of work to do, and I think he knows it. But this is the kind of games he's been winning this year, though.
That is true. I give you
close
that.
games, So
Yeah. Mississippi State versus Kentucky.
I got
Kentucky's home, and Mississippi State is favored by 4 away.
I got Mississippi State.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Mississippi State as well. Actually.
Yeah.
That was a close for me too. I do think Kentucky had the better quarterback, but I think Mississippi State is a more complete team.
They are.
So I'll do that. All right, next one we got and this is the one I was talking about earlier, Ray, because off screen me and Ray was talking about I was talking about it to Ray because I was curious how the line moved, and it did move a little bit, but not a lot. I thought it was gonna move a lot. They got Clemson versus FSU, but Clemson only favored by 4.5. When I checked it on Monday, Clemson was favored by 4. So it went down half a point. They are away. What do you think about this one, Ray?
I'm going to take Clemson to win a close game. I am. I can't believe in Florida State until they believe in themselves, dude. And I don't think they believe in themselves yet, to be honest.
But Ray, this is my problem. This is my problem with them being 4 because we're saying this is going to be a close game, and I don't think, like you say, Florida State has not been playing that well. So it's like, but then you look at the matchup, you're like, well, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game. We do think Clemson's going to win, but if you thinking it's going to be a close game with a team that's been struggling lately, with a team that's the other team is supposed to be a powerhouse team, why are they number 4?
Because they've been inconsistent all year.
Yeah.
We know that why.
Yeah.
And Florida State has been inconsistent for 5 years. So, I mean, and if Clemson wants to, I don't want to call this a statement game, but if they win this game by 10, 14 points, then maybe people start believing they actually belong in that top 4 rank.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't, or it's closer than people want, then maybe they drop out.
Yeah.
Especially if Michigan wins over Penn State. Honestly, if I were a Michigan fan, I'm rooting for Florida State to, even if they lose a close game, and Michigan has a good game and beats Penn State by 2 scores, maybe they jump them again.
Yeah. No, I agree. And that's what I was talking about earlier, that, I would have probably waited until after this game for Clemson to jump.
I agree with that 100%. If they handle Penn State, Michigan handles Penn State or not, and then Clemson has a good win or not, then maybe I would have flip-flopped them a little.
Correct.
Correct. So.
Nope. Yep, I agree. All right. This game I don't really want to do. I don't want to do it. We do have it on the list. I have to do it. Again, I'm sorry, Utah fans. We're going Utah versus USC. Ray, this is probably the first time, and I'm not doing this because of the jinx, honestly. I think USC is looking really good. Caleb Williams is playing out his mind. I think that defense is looking a lot better than it was before. I'm going to USC. Utah is at home, by the way, and they favored by 3.5.
Why'd you do this to me, man?
Well, you don't have the jinx, so it don't matter what you pick.
Yeah, but it's only a 3-point line. Now it's like 2.5.
You have 2.5?
I have 2.5. So it tells me USC could win the game. So you know what? I'm going to go USC too.
Okay.
I do think they have a better offense.
Yeah.
And Caleb Williams is playing really good football.
Correct.
And with Utah's defense playing the way it did last week, it's hard for me to think they could play much better this week.
Yeah, especially
Yeah,
this offense is way better than last week's.
Oh yeah, UCLA is a good offense. USC is explosive offense. So.
Exactly. So, I'm not just picking that because of recent activities. But
if you'd have picked Utah, I'd have jumped all over USC.
Now you're hesitating.
Now I'm hesitating a little bit. So.
All right, one last game, Ray. We got Washington State versus Georgia State. Who you got?
I'm going to take Oregon State. They're home. They're favorite.
Did I say Oregon State? I think I said something.
You said Georgia State. Yeah, that's
fine.
Yeah, you did. I know what you meant, though. I'm going to take Oregon State. I think they're a little better than Washington State. I think 3.5, 4 points at home. I'd rather it be a little higher than that. But they're the home team. I'll take them to win a close game. So
no, same here. I'm doing the same thing, Ray. We're on the same page with that one.
All right.
So, all right. So we got 1, 2, 3.
4 different.
4 different. Interesting. We could tie up again.
We could be.
Yeah. So that'd be very interesting to see. All right. Before we get off, I want to see something real quick. All right, so the Phillies are playing, and they just started playing. So you got enough time for you to do one last segment, Ray, the newest segment we have, and it's Ray Rants. So this is the segment we let Ray go crazy, whatever you want to talk about, Ray.
Well, I just think that I didn't really have anything prepared, so I'm going to just go with the fact that analytics drive me crazy. The fact that these coaches want to use analytics and don't use their gut tells me they're not good coaches, to be honest with you. I like Marcus Freeman, but that stuff that he pulled last week to keep BYU within 1 score really annoyed the heck out of me, man. Like analytics. That's all I hear. Whatever happened to a coach going by what their gut tells them? You know why Nick Saban – You know why Nick Saban's really good? Because he don't let anybody tell him what to think, man. He just thinks on his own.
No,
this analytics stuff is driving me bananas, man. I just can't stand it anymore.
This is my take on analytics because I'm on your side more, but I do have a sense of using analytics because for me as an Eagles fan, I like analytics because 4th and 1. Go for it every time for me. And the reason why it's like that, because 1, the Eagles have a really good offensive line. And then 2, they got Jalen Hurts, who's a big body quarterback. Quarterback sneak every time. But there was this one fourth down play where they try to get too fancy with it, did a reverse on there, and then didn't get the fourth down and could have cost us. I think it was against the Jaguars. That's the part I don't like. And I kind of mentioned that earlier where you got analytics, but do the high probability plays. Don't try to be all cute or don't try to, go out the box trying to, if you're going to have an analytics that says, all right, you have a better probability of getting the first down here, it better be your highest percentage kind of play rather than something that, okay, we have a high percentage play. Let's go for analytics. Analysts say go for it. Let's go for it. Oh, wait, I got a cool play right here. Let's do it. No, pick something that's highly quarterback sneak, 4th and 1. I'm totally for it. If we don't get it, we don't get it. But I think the Eagles are 90% on 4th and 1s right now, especially with the quarterback sneak.
My thing about analytics is I don't feel like it apply. I don't think that it applies there. If I am on the other side of the team's 50 and I have faith in my defense, I'll go on 4th and 1 every time.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. That's keeping the ball. That's my defense has got my back. I'm fine with that.
Correct.
4th and 1. 4th and 2, 4th and 4. I'd be a little hesitant to go for that. 4th and 1, 4th and 2.
Yeah.
I would at least think about it again. As long as I have a strong defense, I'm not worried about it. If I don't have a strong defense, it don't matter where I'm giving the ball at. Correct. So that's where but again, that has to do with my gut. My gut tells me my defense is good. I can go for a 4th down.
That's true.
If my defense isn't good, I can't.
Correct.
And
the placement on the field too, where you're at on the field.
Well, right, exactly. Absolutely.
Kind of carries it too.
Anytime I'm on the other team's inside the other team's 45-yard line, I'll go for it. I have no problem with that. But if I'm outside of that area, I'll think about it. 4th and 1, I don't have a problem with it. 4th and 3, 4th and 4, 4th and 5. I don't agree with that. I don't care. I wouldn't go for it.
100%.
And the 2-point conversions is what drives me crazy more than anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, we all watch movies, right? We all love this. We scratch for that yard. Well, not no more. They think yards is just like this bottle of water. I mean, no, it's not. And there's a reason why you have an extra point. There's a reason why they call it an extra point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I 100% agree with you, right? I just know I'm trying to play devil advocate a little bit because I know that, all right, that extra point is not guaranteed, especially now that they pushed it back a little bit. Not guaranteed, but dude, it's like,
you know what? It's only not guaranteed because field goal kicking is bad right now.
Yeah, it is.
It's really bad. Like I don't understand. Like when I was a kid, it was pretty good. And like the last few years before they moved it back, it seemed like it was automatic.
Yeah.
Now they move it back in a yard or two, and now guys are choking it. Like I don't understand. Like unless you have Tucker for Baltimore, I spread extra points.
Which is crazy, right? The other part of that too is crazy because now they don't allow the center to be you can't line up directly in front of the snapper now. I'm like, shouldn't that help the kicker a little bit more now that you know that the ball's gonna at least come out, right?
Man, I think that if I were managing or running a team, I would have a kicker on my practice squad every year, man.
Yeah. Because it's funny you saying that, right? Because I don't know if you heard how the Eagles kicker got injured last during the Jaguars game. And then we got Cameron Dicker, and he actually got Special Team Player of the Week, which I thought was crazy. Just sign him off the street, kicker of the week. I'm like, dude, we might have to pay him on the practice squad or something.
If you do that, though, someone else will take him.
100%.
And that's the thing about.
But you're not gonna not have Jake Elliott. I mean, it does make you feel better now. Oh, we don't have to rush him back, but you're not gonna not have Jake Elliott. He's been our best kicker since Akers.
I mean, plus they paid him a couple years ago too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So that's the other thing. Like I would never pay a field goal kicker. No. I won't pay a kicker, and I won't pay a running back after his first contract. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry, man. I know. And I come from an era where we ran the ball 60, 70% of the time. I'm still not paying a running back. I would rather say I have a rookie running back and he has 2 good years. I'd rather sign him there 2 years early and then keep him for 6 years, and then he's gone. He's done.
No, I agree.
Done. Field goal kicker, I need to have a guy on my practice squad every year who I can depend on that can come in and hit a couple extra points. If not, I'm going to be honest with you. I know people are going to hate this and kickers are going to hate it. I'll go to a soccer field, right? I'll line up 5 kickers, and whoever wins out of that, I'll take that guy on my practice squad. I just don't understand this whole field goal kickers went from being automatic to being a pain in the rear end.
I mean, you see Arizona. I mean, they could have tied it up against the Eagles, and they couldn't because they had that kick. I did hear it got blocked though. I did hear that. I
want to partially deflected, I think. But here's the thing. Okay. This is my whole point about field goal kickers. The only time you ever notice it if you don't have a good one. If you have a good kicker, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have a good one, then you're like, oh my God, I need a good field goal kicker. So I believe in competition at every position, but I would have a Rolodex with field goal kickers on it then.
No, I hear you.
I have one on my practice squad every year. I would wait and see how the draft shakes out, and I would sign a guy to my practice squad every year until I find a good one.
I agree with that.
Every year.
Yeah, and like even with them, like you losing somebody, like you saying like,
you remember Lindo Mari from Miami? Lindo Mari. He was a good kicker.
Yeah.
Miami got him off Dallas's practice squad one year because Jimmy Johnson knew who he was.
Guess what? That's how we got Jake Elliott.
That's every year, man. I literally would have 2 field goal kickers on my practice squad every year, just developing them and seeing what they can do. Sure. I don't want to take it for granted.
Yeah.
Because they are an aspect of your game, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure I have depth there and have somebody who, just in case my guy gets hurt, for one, of course, and for two, if I have a guy who's missed 3 out of 4 field goals, man, it's time to look for a new kicker.
Yeah.
Because kickers
I like the practice squad idea too, because now you got the kicker at least comfortable with the team. Instead of just jumping in, like the situation with Arizona, they just literally just signed that guy a week ago, and
I hate that.
He's gonna come in and just cold turkey, just kick a field goal to win a team game. Like
I would have
tough on a new guy.
I would have at least 1 or 2 field goal kickers on my practice squad every year, just for that situation. Because again, the only time you really notice them is if your guy is bad. And if my guy is bad and he continues to be bad, I'm not putting up with it. I mean, because again, if you don't have if you don't have a guy who's at least steady, he could lose games for you.
No, all right. Yeah, I think I'm back.
You are.
But yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Ray. But now that my internet's acting crazy at the end, let's just make this the end of it. But I love doing this segment, man. We're gonna have to continue this. Ray rants. Get a little bit.
I will be a little bit more prepared next week. There hasn't been a lot for me to rant about, to be honest with you, because college football games have been pretty good the last couple of weeks. They really have. They've been some nice games going on, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Oh, Ray rants don't necessarily have to be college football too, either, Ray. It's
your rant. I can rant about the NFL. You want me to rant about how if you sneeze on Tom Brady, they call a penalty on you?
Oh my goodness! Can we say that for next week, Ray? Can we say that for next week? I say it for next week because I know there's baseball games on too. I want to watch this as well. So.
I want to watch a game too.
Let's talk about that because I'm definitely joining in with that one.
Man. I mean, then Troy Aikman goes. Did you watch the Monday night broadcast the other day?
I watched it.
He literally said it's time to take the skirts off of the players now, and then they made him retract it in a statement. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Let's talk about that next week.
Now they're telling announcers what they can and can't say.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But thank you guys.
When did football become politics?
A while now, honestly.
Wow.
I don't know when it started, but a while now.
Here's my thing. I'm not gonna rant about this. I'm gonna say this. Politics should stay away from football.
I agree.
When politicians are making billions of dollars and no one and acting like they know what they're doing, like the NFL, like we all know the NFL is idiot proof. You could be the worst team in the league and you're still making millions of dollars in profit. It's idiot proof. This government has a lot more things to worry about than what's going on in pro football.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should act like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today, guys. Thank you guys for checking us out. This is College Football Podcast, RPO Podcast. Make sure you'll check us out each week. We are every Wednesday, so make sure you check us out. If you can't hit us on live and have that live comment like my guy Remy, so thank Remy for being on here. You can go on YouTube, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know we are live. But if you still can't come on live, that's okay. Go on the replay, watch it on YouTube, and leave a comment under there. We will answer back, and anything that you want to know, any questions you have, we definitely help you out with that. Make sure you hit that QR code right there, right under Ray. There you go, Ray. Hit that QR code so you can follow us on all social media and Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And that's going to do it for us today, man. Looking for some good football, man. I think this is going to be a great week. So thank you guys for checking us out. I'm Jerome Jones. That is Ray Roberts. Thank you guys. Go Phillies. And we're going to have a good one. Peace out. Enjoy your week.